Whew. Welcome to the 11 Deep Dawgcast. I'm Star Wars Dog. Let's get into today's game. Well, I almost did the sigh of relief again. I guess let's start this stream off with some bourbon. Trying Wild Turkey's Long Branch tonight. We're gonna need that. Well, Georgia got the win. That's number one on tonight's game. Georgia got the win. What was it? 13 to 12, right? I'm so scatterbrained right now. Yeah, 13 to 12. Yeah, so we did it. It was ugly. It's not exactly uncommon for Georgia. Hopefully I can try to identify what the problems were, what I thought that I saw. And I guess I'll just jump right into it. I've seen a lot of issues with our line, both offensively and defensively. Particularly on the offensive side. Bobo was being himself and wanting to run it up the middle a lot. And we just weren't getting good penetration, good blocking. And our running backs, I think we still have very talented running backs. But it's almost like they're trying to do their footwork. They're trying to dance. They're trying to wiggle their way through instead of just laying the wood down, you know? I've seen that a little bit. I'll commend them. They worked their asses off today for very little gain, really. I mean, it was quite abysmal. In the first half, we only had 65 yards of total offense in the first half. Whew. I hope we don't see that again. But yeah, rushing, we tried to rush 30 times, including Beck with 5, which happens to be our second best carrier. Only got 100 yards, 102 yards technically on the ground. Average of 3.4. Again, like I said, we kept going to it, but we kept just not really going anywhere. It was kind of a mess. And I'd say before I get too carried away, let's say hello. We got Mama Dog in the chat here. X-Wing's hanging around. He's lurking. Made him a mod finally. There you go. I think it's one of only 2 times you've been in my live chat, so welcome in. But yeah, let me get a little sippy sip. Oh, and my wife from the other room. How about that? But okay. So what I was saying, I was doing a little breakdown. Boy, Kentucky outrushed us. I'm just now seeing the numbers on this. They had 170 yards on the ground. And Wilcox and how the hell do you say his name? I'm going to just say the first part. Samoa there. Or Sumo? Yeah, Sumo. They were gashing us pretty bad. They're long. We had a 15 and a 12. Vandergrift broke a 17-yard run on us. Again, I was talking about the the problems with the line that I was seeing today, both offensively and defensively. I was seeing that defensively again, and it wasn't just breakouts to the perimeters either. They were just thank God our linebackers, corners, and defensive ends are there to clean up because it could have been so much worse. And our tackling got dirty. We did not play a great game. Most of the time with Kentucky, you can kind of account for some weather issues, some um, you know, something with Kentucky, and I have a different theory too, and I'll get into that here in a minute. But with Kentucky in general, we tend to mess around. It's like we're on our heels the entire time. We never really take full control. We did last year, but at Kentucky, especially under Kirby Smart, it just there's an element to that um, stadium and that game. And let's give it to the crowd. Their their home crowd was insane tonight. I thought they were going to leave by the third quarter, like South Carolina did to them, but I guess not, man. They came to play tonight. The fans came and showed out, and we talk about the SEC and the importance of how we feel about college football, and that right there is exactly what people are talking about when they say college means more, and the SEC it means more. Like those fans made the game so crazy, so crazy. And Kentucky's team played their heart out. Heart out. Brock Vandegrift, after being benched last week to their embarrassment with South Carolina, showed up today. I mean, he was doing fantastic. I'm curious about their final third down numbers because I think we changed some of that. So yeah, so we made it. They were much better on third down than we were. Not by a whole lot. They were 9 of 16 on third downs, and we were only 5 for 13. But here's a very and it was much worse earlier in the game, but a more prevalent stat which speaks a lot to this game to me is the time of possession. We only had the ball for 24 minutes, almost 25 minutes. They had the ball for 35 minutes. And there for a long time, they had the ball more than double the amount of time than we did. It was insane. Yeah, that's a good point, Mom. Uh, the kicks today, both punters on both teams, incredible. Their punter got a career long 55 yarder. That's, well, yeah, I think career long and school record. So hats off to him. Peyton Woodring stepped up for us and got it done. It was quiet for receivers today, and Beck had a couple of clear misses that I'm recalling. But man, what a rough game. What a rough game. Didn't expect that. And I will say, at least I was right and we didn't give up a touchdown. I was predicting that we wouldn't. And we got that done. So that's good. But, I didn't realize I had my light off. There we go. Now you can see me better. Oh, but boy, early in the season reminds you of what college football does to us, doesn't it? Kind of makes you remember that it's not exactly a cakewalk. Obviously, Georgia is a good team. I still believe we're a good team. Yeah, we might shift in the rankings. Yeah. Who do we got here? Friendly Mango. Your Bulldogs. Are the guys feeling nervous? Yeah. Yeah, man. Uh I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, the Texas game. Yeah, we got a Texas fan. I wonder if this is the man I met on the job site the other day. But man, I think you're right. I think Texas might take number one. It's a very good possibility that that happens. And I think, although, could we say that they've been challenged yet? I'm not sure that we can make that case. Do they look more clean? As of right now, yes. Uh, Thankfully, we have a bye week next weekend before we go see Alabama. That one's going to be, I don't know. I don't know. Alabama looked decent today against Wisconsin. I watched them a little bit. I don't have a whole lot more to say about this game. I mean, it it was rough. It was rough to watch. Thankfully, no turnovers from us. We had a couple of heart-stopping moments where we thought it was going to be that way. We at least got a field goal off of one of the turnovers that we obtained. But man, just a messy game. And yeah, let's see here. I don't know about that. I don't know if you're dropping Georgia that far. That that's a bit of a stretch. I don't know. Maybe 3 I could see that, but uh I don't know. They are privy to overreacting. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But man, absolutely insane. Insane day. Thank God it's over. My goodness. Like I said though, it reminds you, this is part of football. You're going to get the stressful moments. You're going to be reminded that you're alive, that this isn't just a sleepwalk kind of thing. No games are for certain. And I have somebody that can attest to that. If I'll bring him in here, he's our local Notre Dame fan, so I'll bring him in. He knows a little bit about games don't always go the way that they exactly should, right? Wouldn't you say, Sundowners?
Yeah. Well, my team lost to Northern Illinois last week, and um, we'll see. Northern Illinois, they ranked them this week, at least in the AP poll.
Yeah,
So, we'll see at the end of the year, how if college football is as predictable as we think it's going to be, which is unpredictable. We may get to the end of the year, and I mean, we smashed Purdue today. We may get to the end of the year and the loss not look that bad. Still
yeah,
doesn't feel that way, but I will say, as far as Georgia goes, look, there are no bad wins in the SEC. The only problem I have with really the SEC right now is about scheduling. They brought in Oklahoma and Texas, and for example, Georgia plays Alabama, Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Texas.
mm-hmm.
Texas does not play Alabama, Ole Miss, or Tennessee.
Yeah,
And you're talking about 3 or 4 of those top 5 or 6 teams. And so I don't like the way
yeah,
that the scheduling is skewed, right?
yeah.
If they were going to bring Oklahoma and Texas in, they should have told all the SEC teams, buy out your contracts for these small buy games, and we're going to add these teams in
Throw
because I
them
don't
to the
like.
wolves.
Yeah, because it's gonna impact. I mean, if you take Ole Miss, Alabama, and Tennessee off your schedule, and another team has to play 3 of those games, that's a huge difference.
I still firmly believe we don't drop a game, but that's your opinion.
But if you don't drop one, then you're no doubt going to be number 1 going in the college football
Right,
playoff. If you
right.
don't drop, there won't be
Still,
even a question.
yeah. Regardless of, and you mentioned that they placed Northern Illinois, so obviously they have knee jerk reactions. I expect Georgia to drop out of number one. I mean, Tennessee looked fantastic today. Even Texas with Quinn Ewers going down, Arch Manning coming in, looking just lights out. Either one of those could jump. Alabama still looks fine, so
Yeah.
no reason to really drop them anywhere. Or they might just keep it where it's at. But like I said, they already seem to give off that they tend to be a little knee jerky. They overreact. Um yeah, man.
Well,
Speaking of
Georgia's
teams
had.
that are on fire too,
Yeah,
Let's bring in
go ahead
Matt
and bring him
with his Tennessee stuff. Matt, you there, buddy?
I'm here, guys. How's it going?
Hell yeah. Y'all put on a clinic today, huh?
We had that was one of the most expensive college practices we've ever had.
Did I
It
see
cost
that
us
right
probably $1
earlier?
million.
Y'all did an onside kick on them too?
Like I said, it's practice. Yeah, we were up 30-0 in the first half or first quarter probably, and
First
yeah,
quarter, yeah.
we
That's just
we
rude.
pulled one on them. Yeah, well, we got to get it in somewhere, and it's probably better to do it at 30-0. That we were scoring faster than our basketball team, at a faster
Yeah.
pace than our basketball team.
Yeah.
Uh,
Jeez.
I mean, I went to the kitchen to get something to eat, and I come back and we scored again, and I didn't know how. But
Yeah.
yeah, we didn't have any business playing that team, honestly. I mean, that team lost to St. Francis College, which is in a little bitty town in Pennsylvania, last week.
See, that's my point. Is they should have made the SEC teams take some of those teams off the schedule to add in an extra SEC game. That way, you don't go a whole season without playing one of the the 2 or 3 best teams, right?
Right.
Yeah, and they're trying to do that with what is it, like 9-3 now? 9 conference games and 3 off games.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to get it to where it's more like a 10-2 thing.
Yeah. And I like the out of conference, the bigger, how we had Clemson in week 1. Y'all had NC State. You're not in a conference anyway, which is one of your biggest problems. But y'all had Texas A&M, which how about Texas A&M? I'm waiting on Daimio to get in here, but boy, they let Florida have it. Although, not to take a good win away from them, but Florida. Well, I'll just refer to Antonio.
What do you think, Antonio?
They're just no good. They're just no good, man. They're a mess. They're bleeding from both ends over there, and I still stand by week 4. That coach will be gone, and their AD will be searching for someone new.
Yeah, he's getting fired.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know if this game is the one to do it. Who do they got next week? Let me see.
You talking about Florida?
Yeah, who's Florida?
Yeah, they've got a murderer's row of a schedule this year. It does not get easier.
It's absolutely brutal.
They were yelling "Fire Billy" in the stands before halftime.
Yeah, well, they're notorious for having giant flocks of boo birds and just kind of bad fans. Oh, so Mississippi State, yes. If they lose to Mississippi State, who did they lose
bad
today?
They lost today too.
They lost to Toledo today. Yeah.
Yeah, holy Toledo.
Yeah, if they lose to Mississippi State, he's gone. He's gone. No way in hell he's sticking around.
He'll get fired before the next game if he loses Mississippi State.
I totally agree. Yeah.
He's not the only coach in Florida that's people are pissed at right now.
So, X-Wing, I understand your mentality, and I'll explain it. He likes the NFL way more because he likes to see the top tier of talent and excellence of football. But I don't think that's what it's about. I think it's about developing those players and passion for your team, and that's why I love college so much. Even though we're going to more of a pro style and a pro feeling and atmosphere, that's what I like. I think there's more passion, more grit.
In the NFL, you don't have the upsets like in college.
Well, it doesn't mean as much to me. I don't think it means as much.
You know what else you don't have? You don't have fucking referees that want to insert them into the fucking game. That's what you don't have.
Dude, that was bad refereeing.
So bad. Jump scare. you startled him.
I swear he came in like Roose Bolton. What the fuck?
Oh man. Yeah. These were the refs in your game.
Look, here's the thing. Fine. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded. In that...
That laugh at the end kills me. I love it so much.
Remember the three blind mice. Three
Right.
blind mice. SEC refs. SEC refs. Fucking
Man.
Yeah, the fix was in for you guys.
Yeah, it was bad. But I will say one thing, Caleb. They were not good on third down. They were 3 of 12 on third down conversions. You can't do that at home. And
No, I agree. But, I mean, you get 2 pick sixes called back. 12
14 points taken off the board, unnecessary roughness, some bad calls. Bad calls.
Terrible calls. That was a typo, but I'm going to leave it.
But there's with college football playoff implications, there's another coach in Florida that the fans are not happy with right now.
Ooh. Yeah, how about Norvell losing to his old team?
That's right, baby. The Memphis Tigers.
Tigers went in there and took care of business.
Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Florida
no,
State,
I
Florida
will
State,
say,
yeah.
as terrible as this is a thing to say, we covered the spread.
You did.
Hey, you know what? I gotta say the way that your team played today, and you know it was 2-on-1 because you were playing the refs too, and
Like Donald Trump in a debate.
yeah, correct. It was not quite a fair fight, and y'all's team played their hearts out. Y'all did some incredible things, and also after our struggles with Kentucky today, y'all's defensive line is insane.
Do you know how long it's been since we've had defensive line to be proud of?
Bro, y'all did shit to them last weekend that we didn't even get close to doing. Our edge rushers were getting home, but our defensive line didn't measure up to what y'all did.
The you know, you were talking to me about this when I was playing my game earlier, and the losing Lenoris and losing the possibility of basically RPO, basically the option to run the ball as the quarterback, hand it off, or pass it, not literally an RPO. Losing that opportunity really hurt. Because so many times we just sellers would just hold that ball, hand it off, and half of that line had no idea where that ball was. And that's what let Rocket just 245 yards he had.
Damn.
Hang on, let me double check that. That's
we talking about rushing yards?
Yeah.
They were like 246, yeah.
I love how I just looked up Sanders like Google would know what I was talking about.
Right. Yeah, he had 143.
They had, as a team, they had 200 and something total. 243.
Yeah, 243. And he averaged 7.5 yards a carry with 2 touchdowns.
The thing that kills me is South Carolina has had one thing to be exceptionally proud of for basically since I've been a Gamecock fan, and it's been our kicking. We have had NFL kicker after NFL kicker after NFL kicker, and it was a kick that fucked us over tonight.
And he had a freebie. He had a freebie to try it out.
Yeah, and you saw. I mean, he pulled it too far to the other side.
He overcompensated.
Yeah.
Have you been a Cock fan your whole life, Caleb?
We all know the answer is yes.
There's no good way to answer that.
No, that's a lose-lose question.
You just don't answer it. You don't answer it. That's what you do.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I guess I did kind of come in and scare the shit out of everyone, didn't I?
Came in guns blazing tonight.
All right, let's see what Tyler says. Jim, you can't judge a team off of one weekend. Just like Kirby said after the game, playing on the road in the SEC is always a challenge. Absolutely correct. I agree with you. But it's not like there's things that you can't take away from this game. It's not meaningless. It was a close game, and that's supposed to make you uncomfortable. Like there's
Unless
things
you're
to
the
call
other
out.
team.
There's things to be upset about. You can't just. I understand. We have it made right now as Georgia fans. We have it made because we're the standard now. Today's performance didn't really show that, which makes it more upsetting to me, right? Tyler's point, and I've talked to him a lot offline, of course. Tyler's main point
You can
is
do that.
yeah.
You can talk to people not on the computer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of gamers do it. Unfortunately, the people on the other end are minors. But go ahead.
But
Jesus Christ.
What?
shots fired. But no, I don't even know where I was going anymore. You lost me with that one.
Holy
You were
shit.
talking to. Wait a minute. You were talking to Tyler offline. Go ahead.
About Georgia and what today means and what it shows.
Yeah, there's still things that you could be upset about, but obviously his point is to enjoy where we're at now, bask in the glory of it. We don't want to become the Sour Patch Alabama fans that nitpick every little thing. And I'm totally with that. I don't want to become that either. But with a performance like today, there are things that we can talk about for sure. And I don't think we played the cleanest game. We had quite a few penalties as well. Like he had said, the penalties are inexcusable. And there was a lot of fair calls against Georgia players that we were just not doing great. And Kentucky shot themselves in the foot quite a few times. If they played a cleaner game, this might have been even more stressful than a 1-point game.
The last drive was pretty good though by Georgia. Like they made some good plays and some good throws, and they basically won the game. If it had not been at the end kind of making Kentucky burn their timeouts, I mean Georgia would have gotten some points off that drive.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, but it didn't make logical sense to go ahead and score and give them the ball back. It was already nerve-wracking enough to give them the ball back with 3 seconds. Like Brock Vandegrift was ready to do something, and thankfully our defensive backs and everything.
Is Tyler
able to
talking
stand
about
up.
the end of the game where they put 3 seconds on the clock? What are you talking about? The play clock? Is that at the end of the game?
Yeah, they were having problems with that. And then when they spiked the ball, they didn't actually run the clock, so
Nothing
then they had
ran,
to correct it. There was a bit of a mess. Yeah, absolutely right. Slow with the whistles too. There was quite a few times. And
There
last
wasn't
week-
3 seconds when he went down at the end. It was either 1 or 0, probably
Right.
1, but not
Right.
any more than 1.
Yeah, absolutely right.
And
Either
Kirby
way,
was
that's
Kirby was
still- that's
screaming
still
over
one
that too.
play, either way.
Yeah, Kirby told him, you could read his lips. He's like, "That's bullshit." He's like,
Yeah.
he knew it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as tight as a game that was and fun to watch, I told everybody, I said, Kentucky going to Kentucky. It always happens. They ended up doing something.
Go to Kentucky.
Kentucky going to Kentucky. And I knew once you guys went up, I said, okay, Georgia's fixing to blow the doors off and score 21 more,
Yep.
or they're going to have it under control. And
I'll
win.
tell you, going back to South Carolina for a second, tough
Do
game.
we have to?
No, well, I mean, look, it wasn't an embarrassing loss or anything. I mean,
No, look,
yourself in a
again,
position-
anytime you can barely lose to a ranked opponent in what was today the
Not
biggest
just barely
stage.
lose, but have a chance to win.
Yeah. In
Yeah.
what was the biggest stage of in college football.
Mm.
and Brian Kelly had pressure. They had to win that game. That was
Yeah,
that
well,
was almost a must win for Brian Kelly with his fan base.
yeah, Brian
So-
Kelly was gone for like an hour
I think
for
he's
the
still on
game
thin
because
ice.
he was busy sitting in the refs locker room giving everyone a finger blast.
Well,
He broke out
so
the checkbook for sure.
here's the thing. I'm looking at South Carolina's schedule.
Mhm.
They lose to LSU in a game they should have won, but it was
Yeah.
competitive. They controlled it most of the game. Now they got coming up in a few weeks, Ole Miss at home.
Yeah.
I will not be shocked if South Carolina wins that game. That's going to be a big game for Ole Miss because those are the games you got to win if you're going to make it to the playoff at the end of the year. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
or have a chance to go to the SEC title game. So that's a huge game.
Well, in the West, I mean, we don't have divisions anymore, do we?
No, you don't
Yeah, it's
play
the top
Georgia.
two.
You don't play Bama.
You can't call me on a stream, Tyler. What the hell? You want me to send you the link? Hang on, let me take him.
So let's see. Yeah, looking at South Carolina, Akron's a win. I mean, if we could pull out a win against Ole Miss, that'd be. What's great is we got 2 weeks. You have basically 2 bye weeks before you have to play Ole Miss. I don't think you put Lenora Sailors out there at all against Akron. I think you let him rest up and heal and make sure everything's perfectly fine.
Yeah. That Ole Miss game's huge. I mean, we haven't talked about the wild card in the SEC yet, right? We know the first few weeks that Texas is for real, Georgia's for real, Tennessee's for real, Ole Miss is for real, Alabama's for real, right? Those are top 7 teams for sure.
Yeah, and we play 2 of them.
But there's one team that's in the mix that we don't know about yet, and that's Missouri.
Yeah,
Missouri.
And we'll tell you all about them on November 16th.
So
I hope y'all racetrack race them suckers.
So we have huge news coming out of Columbia, Missouri. They just put like $100 million to renovate their stadium, which means if they're fucking smart, we will never get their dog shit camera angle ever again.
That's a glorified high school stadium.
Raise your hand if you hate playing in Columbia, Missouri. Because
I hate it. You got to park on the side of the daggum highway. You got to park on the highway and walk to the stadium. It's like it's the most country high school stadium I've ever been to.
They make their fans sit on rocks.
They sit on rocks. Yeah.
So who's been to Columbia, Missouri? Matt Twing, you've been there, right?
Yeah, I've been there. I went there in 2013.
So
Caleb, have y'all been there physically?
I haven't been to any SEC stadium yet.
So if anyone remembers,
other than Georgia,
in 2013, South Carolina was playing Missouri, and we were down. So at USC, I was freshman at USC, and they had like a movie night thing, and I wanted to go see World War Z. It was an away game. I was like, well, I'll have the game on my phone, and I'll be paying attention and doing everything. So I'm sitting there watching World War Z, and we're down in like the third quarter, I think. And I was like, I don't know if we're gonna be able to pull this out. They just weren't playing football. They were just kind of out there. And Shaw was hurt. Dylan Thompson was in there in I think the first half. And this was the game that Shaw came out in the fourth quarter and led us to what I think is the greatest comeback in South Carolina school history. And we win in, I think it was double overtime when Andrew Baggett missed his game-winning field goal of like 34 yards. Shanked it. And to this day, I remember just pacing around my fucking 12 by 12 dorm room going, oh my God, what's going to happen, guys? What's going to happen? And then he shakes it, and everyone in the dorm room just starts screaming. I love it.
And then you had that one guy in your dorm room that goes, what's going to happen? Brad Pitt's going to defeat the zombies. What are we talking about?
Well, I was. It was funny because I went to the theater because we had a theater on campus, so I went to that theater. About
here you go with some Beamer ball.
Is this the pick six? I mean the block. Yep.
Yep.
Damn.
And I'll tell you the other thing. The fact that they had to review the LSU guy catching it out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one, There was another one that they got that he had been out of bounds and came back in. You can't do that.
Yeah, that makes you ineligible for sure.
Right.
Yep.
Again, and another thing, if you are a quarterback and you throw a pass and then you run towards the pass, you are a player.
Damn. How do they not have that tip ball interception? That was incredible.
So
Which
we
one?
had some LSU fans sitting behind me at the
one.
sports bar and grill
Yeah.
where we went after my oldest son's football game, and LSU South Carolina was
Hey,
on.
buddy, you available to come on? I dropped you the link in Discord.
And so we're sitting there, and all the games were on, and Memphis, Florida State, and South Carolina LSU, and they blocked the kick, right? The one you just showed, Jim.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the lady that sitting in the booth goes, "What the fuck?" The LSU fan. I turned around, I was like, "Hey, watch your mouth." I had my kids sitting there, right?
Oh
Yeah.
And I turned around, I was like, "You dumb whore!" And my youngest son goes, "Dad, you said a bad word too." I was like, "Well,
Yeah,
you need to
fair
watch
enough.
your mouth. I can cuss in front of you guys, but someone else can't."
You talking about this one, Jim?
I think so.
Nussmeier to the end zone through a pick.
No, it wasn't that one,
No.
but that's a good one.
Yeah, it was. And
How many
Memorial, that
times?
guy.
I think it was 3 different trips to the red zone. They turned the ball over on you. Like, man, they kept
And,
y'all
I mean,
in the
we
game
had,
just as much as y'all stayed in.
we had 14 points called back. We had
That one was the game right there, though.
Yeah, that game's over right there if that doesn't get called back.
Yep.
Every
Yeah.
LSU fan leaves the stadium if that happens.
Well, and this is just after the bullshit pass interference call.
I don't even remember that one. That's how pissed off at this one I am.
No, that was the game changing call. That
Oh yeah, I
pass
do remember
interference.
that one.
Yep.
Yeah, where he was fucking. It wasn't pass interference. It
Not
was
even-
a
not even a little.
football move.
Yep, not even a little. They called PI on him. and
Here it is. Here's the hit.
Gets right underneath. Here's the AT&T clicker to give you an idea where he came
Man, right. So right now, the LSU quarterback is running across the screen right here.
He's fair game.
He is fair game, and he
from. And
gets
the hit
blocked.
came after the
It's not a
interception,
hit
so his
either.
eyes went
He
down to
gets
catch the
blocked.
ball. He never
I've
saw
got one,
7
too.
go from
Are
being
we gonna
up
be
tight
able
in
to-
the box to sinking.
No, I mean,
puts it right
there's-
into his hands, and right after he
this
threw
one
it,
might work.
this is the hit that he took
He's blocked. That's not a hit.
right here by
Right.
Kyle Kennard.
Yeah, it was a good
Dress
flop
said
though.
he didn't do
I'll
it.
give him that.
Yeah, but he's no longer a quarterback. He's a fucking blocker at that point.
Right. Yeah, I've got one. I'm trying to find it real quick.
Yeah, he's making a play going towards the runner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, did he have to go for his neck? Did he hit him in the
Well,
neck?
Play
This
that,
is the
Jim.
hit that he took.
So he
Yeah, that's
hits
the
him.
shoulder.
He hits him right here.
He hit him in the
pushes
shoulder
him
pads.
right
In
here.
the shoulder? Okay,
Yeah.
that's legit.
That's
It wasn't a
horrible-
block in the back.
That is a Disney call, is what that is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Boy.
ESPN.
Yeah, let's
That's
see.
That's a Disney referee.
Yep.
Yep. Shoulder.
That's
Yep. In
football.
the shoulder. Yeah, that's football. That's legit.
Yeah. Because at this point now he's a potential tackler. So
Yep. He didn't taunt him either. He
Now,
put his
if
hands
I was-
up.
If I was him, I would have pushed and I would have kept chasing to leave no because
Yeah. Don't draw attention to yourself.
Yeah. But I also want to lift my hands.
I'm not guilty. I'm not guilty.
But this guy,
It happened so fast. He may have thought he did something wrong too.
man, I can't quite find it, but there was we had a call for it was a sack. Well, no, it would have been a sack. He did get the ball off, but it was a clean hit, and I don't know what else you want him to do, but they called roughing the passer, and it was complete horseshit, and I cannot find it right now. But it was the cleanest fucking tackle. He let go of it as he's getting tackled, So the argument is he drove him to the ground, but they're already in the process of a tackle. That would have been a sack if he didn't throw it. So what do you want him to fucking do?
Is X-Wing drunk?
Refs, man. They have too much pull on a game, too much influence on an outcome,
Yeah.
and I think the nonchalant talk about it, like from the announcers and from in this day and age.
This is how bad
hang on.
ours.
I've got a let me stay on my soapbox for a minute. In this day and age, with all the fucking cameras that we have on field, right, and all the people that we have in booths and shit, why does it have to come down to those guys on the field when a call is clearly wrong and everybody fucking sees it? Why can that not be overturned?
You talking about a penalty like that?
Any penalty that's just a bad call. There are
agree.
so many other eyes on it. Why does it have to come to the guys on the field making mistakes? Because they make them every fucking week. Every week there are terrible calls that anybody with a set of fucking eyeballs can see and say, "Hey, what?" There's questionable ones for sure, right? There's things that are debatable, but the clear and obvious no calls, like I don't know, we should really address that. The way we're still conducting it in this day and age with the cameras and the communications that we have now, this shouldn't even be a factor. We shouldn't be talking about bad calls if they're clear and obvious.
Well, I didn't want to upset Caleb any worse tonight, but I did get a tip that one of the referees in the LSU South Carolina game is Real Wade's uncle. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So Caleb, in the future, be nicer to Real Wade because
good luck with that,
DGD
DGD.
today.
That's it. I don't think
that.
Wade knew what game he was watching.
Yeah. Speaking of, how did Colorado do against
Oh.
Colorado State?
Yeah, they took care of business.
Did they?
Yeah, 28-9.
Any big upsets today? Other than the close one that we had?
They're almost too.
I don't think it's really an upset, but Toledo beat Mississippi State. Hurts Mississippi State. Toledo's not a bad team, though.
Well, I guess technically you could say it's an upset. It's an unexpected win, right?
I mean, is Memphis upsetting
Yeah.
Florida State?
Memphis, that's an upset.
I wouldn't consider that unexpected, though. But
No,
it's an upset nonetheless.
No, I mean, technically it's an upset, but I mean, you saw the picks on game day, right? Nick Saban picked Memphis.
Damn.
I knew that was going
Andy
to
goes
happen.
Yeah.
down.
I knew that was going to happen.
Oh yeah, Vandy upset
Man,
Now that's an
Georgia
upset.
State.
that's an upset. Man,
Normally-
Vandy.
Normally not an upset, but this year, yes, that's an upset.
Yeah.
Vandy losing.
No,
They look like they can hold their own a little bit this year, and now What the
Okay,
hell?
guys. Every couple of years they look like that for like the first 3 or 4 weeks.
That's
and then
when Vandy
reality
gets
hits them like
turned
a
into bunch of
Mack
liberal
truck.
fucks.
I can't. The SEC network people are going to have fun with them.
Oh yeah.
There's
I
only
love
two
them.
college
SEC
football
sports
teams
game.
in Tennessee, and it's not Vanderbilt.
Yeah,
Yeah, Toledo killed. Yeah, we talked about that. Toledo killed
Uh,
Mississippi State. Oh, Florida
Now,
Mississippi
Matcheween.
State might be.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
no-
Caleb and Jim don't know anything about this culture as far as the madness of it. If Tennessee, these are a lot of ifs, but if Tennessee and Ole Miss, either one of those schools, does not make the top 4, right? They don't win the SEC title, but they're still, a top 10 team, right? And they
Mhm.
get
Yeah.
which of the two? Because if Memphis wins the G5, and they will be the 12th seed in the college football playoff as the top ranked G5 team.
Yeah.
Right.
What would be crazier? Memphis having to go on the road against a 5th seeded Tennessee or on the road against a 5th seeded Ole Miss in Oxford?
I think it'll be Ole Miss because they've always had a rivalry. Being
Hatred.
so close together.
Do you know how many bad fights I've seen in the Ole Miss Memphis football games? Like after the game.
Yeah. Those dudes know each other. A lot of them.
Like
They used to.
hatred.
I mean,
That was
Yeah.
just the other year they had that muffed punt that was real bad, and they ended up losing. Right, that was Mississippi State.
Yeah, the
Like
Egg Bowl
2 years ago or so.
Yeah.
in the
You
Egg
talking
Bowl, I think.
Memphis?
Oh, you talking about Memphis?
Yeah,
Oh,
Well, the Egg
I
Bowl
don't
was
recall
Mississippi
that one.
State Ole Miss.
right.
right. Yeah. I don't know where the Memphis one. I do know that if Tennessee and Ole Miss square off, you better stock up on your mustard.
Oh yeah,
We're going to be throwing some mustard
Golf
That's right.
balls. Yeah, oh yeah.
and golf balls.
I mean, and then there's context too. Like you got Lane Kiffin is coaching at Ole Miss, and Tennessee fans hate Lane Kiffin.
Oh yeah.
But Memphis beat Ole Miss when they had Eli Manning, and they beat Tennessee when they had Peyton Manning.
Mm.
On a fluke play, yes.
So does Memphis
still-
play Texas at some point?
No,
Because that's the next Manning.
That's the other Manning.
wanna-
Yeah.
You want to
Like a
hear some other
trifecta.
bullshit? You want to hear some other bullshit? You know what Brian Kelly had the audacity to complain about in his press
he's a
conference?
dick.
Oh boy.
The blocked punt. He thinks it was an illegal play, and he's going to bring it up with the head of SEC officiating.
For somebody to go up and over the blockers, you could dive over people.
Yeah. Nothing about that
You
block punt was illegal.
You can't use another player to launch yourself, but
Yeah,
other than that,
right,
it's
yeah,
fair
right.
game.
Yeah. Because that would be nice if you could just give them a little hook.
Troy Polamalu used to leap over the offensive line like
Yeah.
Jimmy Superfly or whatever
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
off the top
Let's
rope.
see. South Carolina's Maurice Brown rushed up the middle after the snap and appeared to have leapt over the blockers in front of the
Yeah,
kick,
there's-
and he ultimately got through to get a hand on the ball. Buddy Mack covered the loose ball. Yeah. The rule states that it is a foul if a defense player who's inside the tackle box tries to block a punt by leaving his feet and leaping into the plane directly above the frame of the body of an opponent. So jumping over the D line, the O line, and he did. He broke the line. He didn't jump over the line. He got through the holes of the LSU O line.
Yeah.
Matt Tweeney explained the mustard reference for.
Yeah, I was gonna
So-
have him do that too.
So I think it was 2 years ago in Knoxville, Ole Miss was playing Tennessee. Things got a lot chippy. There was a lot of fake injuries on the Ole Miss was faking their injuries, slowing us down,
Yep.
and some questionable calls. And one of the calls was really bad. I can't recall exactly what the play was, but it was very egregious. And everybody in the stadium, including Lane Kiffin, knew it was a wrong call. Well, fans went to the concession stands and started throwing mustard bottles onto the field.
Yeah.
And somebody hit him with a golf ball, threw a golf ball at him.
He got hit with a golf ball.
Yeah.
Didn't he put it in his pocket?
He did.
Yeah,
He picked it up and pocketed it. Yeah. Souvenir.
So, Matt, I'm going to need you to tell me when it is.
Hooker fires over the middle. Caught! First down, Tennessee. 57 seconds. The spot is just short.
Watch. Look at this
It's
spot.
right about here.
Also towards the Tennessee bench. Never wise.
Yeah, he
Something's
just picked it
happening.
up. Yeah.
It was a very chippy game.
Oh, and see, there was a lot of delays in the game, too. The game
Yeah.
went on
Yeah.
forever.
Pro V1. No, it was the old.
Yeah.
Here comes all the throwing.
Yeah, a lot of Debris
Yeah,
on the
look at all
field, look at
that.
all that.
Debris.
Debris.
They hate Lane Kiffin in Knoxville. Just for everybody
And-
that doesn't know the
Yeah,
history.
because he got the fuck out.
He got his quote dream job at USC and left in the dark of night and took
Got
recruits with
fired on
him.
the tarmac over there.
He
And,
got fired
and
at the on
Hang
the
on,
tarmac.
he's never coached for USC.
the real USC.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
only
he's
one that
never
people
coached
actually
for
refer
USC.
to at USC.
And as fate would have it, he named one of his sons Knox after Knox County. So he always carries his shame with him. So I'm
this
happy.
Shame.
This is the mustard reference. Wait for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then the golf ball
And
too.
see, man, that's what they were talking about. Like, who brings a bottle of mustard to a football game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some really good spoofs about all that shit.
You know what? Saying all that, though, I kind of would take Lane Kiffin as a coach. Kind of respect him as a coach a little bit, even though he's an a-hole. Otherwise,
Yeah.
he's a douche.
Can I say one more thing about Georgia and today in the tight game?
Sure, do whatever the fuck you want.
Some kind of right. Some silver lining here. Hopefully this is a good wake up call. You know, we have a bye week. We have a chance for Kirby to crawl into some assholes and straighten some things out and really get ready for Alabama. You know, there's nothing better to straighten out. Sometimes it takes a loss, but a 1-point win where the game was in jeopardy on the closing of the game, that'll do it. That'll wake your guys up.
So, Jim, is anybody else going to be drag racing during this bye week? How many? I mean, how many times have they got to get in trouble?
Fucking hell, man!
I don't know what to say about.
I'll tell you what. That what county is Athens in?
Clark
The Clark County jail can boost a pretty good football team right now.
Yeah, they got a lot of recruits, a lot of transfers in there.
They can give out NIL deals at this point. I mean, bro, I really don't know what to really say about that. And for those who don't know, we're talking about all the driving incidents and arrests and tickets, and usually it's speeding. ETN had a DUI incident that was dropped from a DUI. Either way, something is just too common to just ignore. And I don't know what the answer is. I'm confident in our coach. Obviously, I think he's the best coach in college football. But we're also talking about kids that Carson Beck has a fucking Lamborghini SUV. You know, we're talking about kids that have money that at that age you usually don't have, and they're doing stupid shit. And I will say, the roads around Athens and in Clark County are like 2-lane divided highways, and they feel like interstates. So it's not like they're doing 100 and some odd mile an hour down a fucking back road.
Is this your plan to fix it? Because I love that. That's awesome.
UGA and Clark County police partner for NIL deal, giving out speed limiters.
But this is not a unique problem that y'all are having right now. This is the problem that Georgia has had for 20 years.
And it's not even a contemporary or modern issue, man. This goes back. I mean, when you get some elite players like this, Tennessee went through it too. It used to be a joke that once we start getting players arrested, we know we're back. You know, like Tennessee's back now. We got some guys with a rap list.
Yeah.
But now it just seems like it's more ramped up because of social media and the money is involved. The money's over the top of the table, not under the table anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys heard about the Eli Manning stuff at Oxford, didn't you? There's some legendary stories about Eli Manning in Oxford. He got pulled over by the Mississippi Highway Patrol, and when they went up to the car, he was buck naked in the car with two girls who were buck naked, and they put him in the squad car, and then they realized it's Eli Manning, and they're like, "Son, where's your clothes?" And he was like, "I don't know. There were no clothes in the car." So they drove him back to I guess where he was staying or whatever, got his clothes, and called one of the coaches. One of the coaches basically took care of it, but Eli was just famous for like getting high and drunk, just totally messed up, and swimming in ponds and like crazy. It's just like doing what you would think you would do in college, right? If
Yeah.
you had that type of celebrity. But
So
yeah.
just before you press play, Jim.
What's up, Lawson?
So you remember the fatal crash that the Georgia assistant had last year?
Yep.
So there have been 29 speeding incidents for Georgia players since last year. 29 citations. That's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
What did Tyreek Hill play at Georgia?
Crazy.
The roads are boring is not a good excuse. I can tell you from experience that doesn't work.
That doesn't hold up in court.
I'm sorry. I had the radio on in God's country, and I was really feeling it. Doesn't work.
At least we didn't produce Aaron Hernandez. So
that is true.
Just a little shout at the Gators there.
Did you see DGD's podcast chat?
Yeah.
So
this one here, or
what's interesting about this is
look who's here.
It can't be for tomorrow morning. Board meetings have to be scheduled with 24 hours in advance, which means if it's for tomorrow morning, it was scheduled this morning prior to that game. That's a big deal.
Yep.
Now,
it
could boards meet for a number of reasons.
Right.
It could have nothing to do, especially the agendas. The agendas have to be out 24 hours prior for every single public university in the country. But if they move it, if it gets pushed to, let's say, 6 o'clock at night, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of want to pivot back to bad calls real quick. So we'll do a hard pivot to bad calls. This right here was called roughing the passer. Let's see what y'all think.
No,
that's one of the cleanest hits I've seen.
That's football.
That's an incredibly clean hit.
What do you want him to do?
If anything, it's incidental contact.
Hey, Jim, play that back again. Play it back. Watch this. His head is down in the motion before the ball leaves his hands.
That is literally how they teach you to tackle.
What do you want him to do?
That is a perfect tackle.
That led to a field goal, by the way.
So
that was on third down. That led to a field goal.
I can see him get hit after that. Every game they hit him, a split second after that.
It's not like he taunted him. Because honestly, obviously Vandegrift came from Georgia. So there's a level of respect there with him. So none of that happened at all. Also, can we find the fucking brawl that almost happened at the beginning of the game? Let's see if we can find that. Man, fucking Wade is lighting us up right now. Yeah, I don't know.
Shouldn't be mean to him. Yeah.
Crazy day. But again, Tennessee did fantastic, and they're just bullying of a lesser school, doing an onside kick. How rude.
Yeah, that was a little classless.
But like you said, it is good practice, though. In all reality, it is. It's good practice.
Right.
I wonder if that's in here.
Napier has a $20 million buyout, by the way.
Wow. Florida would raise that
$23 million.
They'll have that. They'll open their wallets and have that by Monday.
The head official for the crew from today was Jason Autry, who apparently has a history of basically calling games for LSU and doing things to aid LSU.
Oh, shit. What's up, Jonathan? How you been, buddy? I love your profile pic, too. Hell yeah.
Fight.
Shit, yeah. Oh,
But you can't call a flag. You can't call that penalty on a defensive player who lowers down to making the
who's
tackle
committed?
before the ball leaves their
Yeah.
hand. You can't.
Yeah. Because you don't know, that quarterback could have pump faked and
Yeah, you can't.
still had the
Exactly, yeah.
ball.
Yeah.
And he was
Jim's
looking
point
up
earlier,
at him.
To Jim's point earlier, that's that you got to use technology to look at the play, and someone in the booth or somewhere say, "Look, it's not a flag."
Yeah. Pick it up. Pick up your
Yeah.
laundry.
And
They-
don't spend 10 minutes looking at it. If it's clear, make
It's
the
quick.
call,
It's quick.
get the game going again.
That-
Ref
it would
calls
make-
need to be reviewable.
It would make the game so much more enjoyable if we took the fucking refs nonsense out of it, because almost every single game has that shit to it. And like I said, there are contested ones that are going to be debated amongst fans.
The
Obviously, right? Targeting
Yeah.
calls,
The tuck rule.
they're
Yeah.
kind of notorious for that. But when they are that blatantly obvious, that by no means whatsoever is that roughing the fucking passer. Just
No, not at all.
Yeah.
why do we just stand for it and just blow it off like, oh, that's just a part of the game? Why?
Well,
Why is that a part of
what's
the game?
really annoying about it is I don't know if y'all remember
I got pissed.
the first year that targeting really became a thing. It was fucking terrible. Everyone was getting targeting calls, and then the following year they made targeting calls automatically reviewable. And I don't understand why we can't review. You can review every call, almost every call an umpire makes in a baseball game. Why can't we review calls that refs make in football games? I mean, there's a difference between throwing your flag to review a PI, but things like that should be reviewable. Throw your flag, say bullshit, and send it to fucking Hoover and have him look at it.
Review it just like it would be a personal foul or a targeting incident.
Yeah. And how
So it's a contact.
and so I'll tell you right now why they don't. Because every single sporting institution in the world right now is busy making their game quicker. And if we can start reviewing calls, it will be because it will slow the game down. And they do not want that.
You're right about that. That's why they made the rule changes on the clock.
Yep.
And
Which,
some
by
other
the way,
things.
game started at like 12:12 today, and the second quarter ended at about 5 minutes before 2 p.m. That is the longest half
That
of
is long.
football I've seen in like.
Yeah. Because they'll go to
15.
commercial anytime there's a guy's shoe comes off.
Oh, yeah.
Guy gets a Charlie horse. Oh, we'll take a 30-minute timeout.
Yeah.
Commercial.
We
We'll be
talked
right
about
back.
that at the we were trying to get our check after we were talking about that, Matt Dwayne, where Memphis was up 10-0 and had a chance to it would have maybe gone up 17-0, but they had a fourth down. They looked like they converted it, but the tight end caught the ball and then he went down. It kind of shifted to his hands a little bit and touched the ground, and it was clear. The whole sports pub was like, he didn't catch it. They go, let's go to commercial. And then there's like 5 minutes of commercials.
Yep.
So it was like 10 minutes from the time everybody in the sports bar that were majority pulling for Memphis were like, he didn't catch it.
Yeah.
And
NFL will do it too. You don't want to. They spend more time on commercials than listening to the commentators talk.
Yep. And can I pose this too? And I know we kind of do have kind of a challenge system, but how come the coaches don't have a red flag that they can throw out like in the NFL, a challenge flag? Like if it's something that we could take a fucking look at,
Yeah.
Now, I can
coaches-
see where that could get absolutely out of hand for sure, right? Because honestly, any given call, you could probably find a holding, or any given play. I will say, right? You could
Well, and
probably
that's
find
why
a-
it needs to be. You can only challenge calls. Like you can only challenge the yellow flag.
But no calls are important too. When there are clear pass interference happening, those are important too.
So this is. It is, but again, I would rather the refs not throw a flag than throw a flag. So even
Amen
if
to this.
you
You don't have to hear Gary Danielson talk anymore.
even
Thank
if
God.
Whew.
even if a guy gets out there and is all over a wide receiver, or the wide receiver is pushing off and doing all sorts of stuff to get the CB off of him, I'd rather them do that and miss the PI than a ref throw a PI and ruin a play or ruin a game.
Well, and I feel like PI is kind of similar to targeting in the fact that the rules aren't always like consistent.
Clear. And they're not applied consistently either. In the same example that, again, this is not offensive pass interference.
Right.
A football move that happens 20 seconds before you catch the football is not pass interference.
Yeah.
Right.
The most we can do to remove the gray area is the move we need to move towards. Like we don't need to be having discussions like that, Yeah.
And then there are people that do what they call refalytics. They follow these referee teams, and they have certain teams have tendencies to call certain plays more liberally than others. And then when you're getting this officiating crew, and it's really big in basketball, when you're getting them, what to expect on the calls.
Yep.
Well, it's because in basketball, a lot of those refs feel they're like the guardians of the sport.
Oh, Ted Valentine.
Is he the one that talked about who was it? Iverson. When they called I can't remember the penalty they kept calling, but they called it like 40 times that game because Iverson never got suspended for, I think, punching a ref or something. And the refs in his next like 4 games were like, "Sorry, bud, you can go sit down if you want, but we're gonna call this."
Or it's like Angel Hernandez in baseball, notorious bad caller.
Oh yeah, who's finally gone?
Thank God, yeah, he's out.
Dude, who was who's the murderer from Florida? Aaron Hernandez. You said Angel Hernandez, and I was like, "Hey, no, Aaron Hernandez."
He's long gone. Yeah. He's so gone. They made a documentary about him. Some movie or something.
It's still too bad that about that team was not nearly as good as it should have been.
So there's a referee in the NBA named Scott Foster, and he hates Chris Paul so bad that it became like a big deal, right? Like Chris Paul's record in Scott Foster officiated playoff games was 3-17. So finally, the NBA wanted to basically not have it be a big story, but with social media, it just got more viral and more viral. So they finally were like, we have to not have Scott Foster referee. And he was one of the top tier, like, when you want to pick referees to referee big playoff games, he was in that group, right? So they finally had to say, we can't have Scott Foster referee Chris Paul playoff games anymore because the fans were looking for it, right? They were looking for the interactions between this ref and this player, and it took away from the game. Well, that happens in college football. You don't think Kirby Smart knows, like, when they look at refs, they go, look who's refereeing our game next week. Look who they know who doesn't like them.
Well, they have 40 analysts on every team now.
Yeah, they know exactly when they walk into it, like, okay, we're on the road, or who's refereeing this game? And then they know what they're up against. And the bias is in there, and they just don't talk about it, right? That's why they tell them, hey, if you talk about the refs, you're going to get fined.
That's another thing that's an issue. You know what? A head coach ought to be able to call out bullshit from refs.
They should.
Now, I'm going to bring up some old shit here.
I was going to say, bro, this is 6 years old.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. No. We're on the topic of bad calls and what happens, okay? This right here is why Georgia doesn't have 3 national championships under Kirby Smart, okay? I got it sped up. It's 7 minutes, but I got it to 2 times. So we'll just try to breeze through this, and I might jump ahead. But keep in mind though too, a lot of these are on like crucial moments in the game.
Yep.
Clear
I
offside.
remember that.
Clear offsides. Right?
No. The other one. It's not offsides. It's
False start.
yeah, false start.
I'll start. Yeah.
It's okay. He's not thinking straight right now.
This was a no call face mask.
That was another thing. We had 3 hands to the face today that they did not call.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, face mask.
It turns
And
his
then a
head.
horse collar.
Yeah.
Bro. And I know this seems petty or whatever, but I think it's important to talk about because this was glossed over. And this is the problem with when we talk about officiating and refs getting away with this kind of shit. Because this right here is why they were able to have Tua in 23. Because all of this shit added up to us losing momentum. Georgia just we were fighting the fucking refs in this game. We were playing a fantastic game, but so many times did they miss calls or they just had bad calls.
You ever had a player tackled by a ref?
It's happened.
I'm sure probably.
I don't want to hear it.
I'm sure probably somewhere.
2008, we're beating LSU in Columbia, and a ref tackled what's his fucking name, Steven Garcia, as he was getting ready to run to the end zone.
Steven
And
Slap him in the head.
that was it.
You see
Yeah,
that?
I've seen it done in NFL.
This right here. Watch after the tackle. Personal foul. Easy. All day.
For what?
Slapped
Yeah.
his head into the ground. Pass interference. Clear.
A lot of these are really hard to see at times too, buddy.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to make it to where it's not super grueling for people to have to sit through, but again, it's just
As big a business as
He
this
was
has
out.
become,
He was out of the.
yeah.
He was all out
That
of the
was-
fucking.
That was pass interference somehow.
I mean, it's always been big business, but now you're talking billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Do you think that the referees should have to submit their bank records and their disclosures?
Absolutely.
Because these
I think-
referees,
I think politicians should as well. So,
they're- well, yeah, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
But
We don't
like
have enough time for that conversation.
these referees, they gamble. They gamble,
Absolutely,
and
bro.
and so it's
Look,
like, hey, this
yeah,
is,
find the video. I know which one you're thinking of.
False starts are so arbitrary too, because I can't tell you how many times I've seen a offensive line kick out
Yep.
right. I mean, a split second before the snap, and it's not
Yep.
called. Well, he's obviously getting a head start on a passing block,
Again,
and
obviously this stuff is old news and nothing is going to change of it. But
that was a big call right there. That was a big call in the game.
huge.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
Do you have it, Jim? Because I'm trying to find it as well.
Now for the fun part. Yeah, this is what the penalties added up to. It's a lot. Yeah. It's crazy.
Well, it
Sundowners.
wasn't-
Did you
it
see?
wasn't-
Did you see in
Central Florida.
the Florida State press conference, the fire alarm was going
Yeah,
off
we
during
gotta talk about
Norvell's
that.
speech?
Yeah, we got to talk about that. Matt,
What an omen!
You want to say what happened, or you want me to do it?
All right, go ahead.
So Mike Norvell used to coach at Memphis. He left Memphis to coach Florida State, and Memphis goes in there and beats them. They were a little bit better than what the score indicated, but it's they're 0-3, and if they didn't owe Mike Norvell $70 million, he just got a new contract last year. $70 million is what they would owe him. He goes into the press conference and he starts talking, and he's totally defeated. It's like it's a horrible. And before he can really say anything, the sirens go off and they say, "Please exit the building. We have a fire emergency." And it's going off all over. And he's trying to talk through it, and he can't. And of course, at this point, he realizes I don't want to be talking anyway. So he gets up and just exits out the building.
The
So
fire
literally-
emergency is you, buddy. You're getting fired.
It says please exit the building. We have a fire emergency. And of course, all the memes were like, yeah, it's a fire emergency. All right.
Yep.
Yep.
Not a
But
sign at all.
That was, I was watching it because I wanted to see what he was going to say. And then when I saw that clip, I was like, oh my God, he didn't even get to talk. The fire alarm went off.
Jeez.
But,
man.
Yeah. Yeah, Georgia, Jim, I don't know. I know as a diehard Georgia fan, I mean, for me, who loves SEC football, but not like living and dying with Georgia winning or losing, I just look at these SEC games, especially road games. It doesn't freaking matter how much you win by, how ugly it is. Just win, baby, and get out of there and go, because Georgia, Kirby said it. They had the Missouri game a year or two ago.
Yep.
They've had a couple of these games that they barely win, that they don't look good, and it has no bearing on the following games. It has none. It's SEC football, and he knows that. And I like what he said too she asked him about Beck, and he goes, "It's not a Beck question. We just need to tighten up on some things. They put pressure on us. Give them credit, and we need to shore up some things." But I like how he took the pressure off of Beck. That's what a good coach does. Unlike my coach at Notre Dame, who's like, well, our guy just needs to not throw the ball down the field and just do the plays we designed for him.
Or Dabo Sweeney.
Yeah. So I thought Kirby answered it well. And it's like, look, man, a win is a win in the SEC, especially on the road. It has no bearing. History shows that. Georgia could the next 5 weeks look like the best team in the country. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, regardless of where they may shift us. Oh yeah. Let's see if you got
there's a lot of gambling and it never gets talked about.
How much you got on that? How much you got on that parlay?
Now,
Hey, I know you got.
he could just be laughing. But looked like a guilty laugh to me.
Yeah. Look.
Man, if any scandal happens eventually where something comes out of a ref or a player was betting on games or throwing games, would anybody be surprised in this billions of dollar gambling environment we're in now?
Yep.
Not at all. And here's
I imagine it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, for sure. Here's Beck's post game.
Kentucky didn't make it easy for you guys tonight. What did you learn about your team in this first
Y'all hear
road
it?
test?
Yeah, I mean, the theme of the week was blow by blow.
Yeah.
So how do you keep that motor rolling? How do you keep going the entire game and just try to chop down the tree? Watching the film, you go look at their game last week against South Carolina, you look at their defense. I mean, a tough defense. You look at their front seven, what they do. They're going to bring pressure. They're going to challenge you. That's what they did to us today. And, I mean, they played a phenomenal game. I'm really proud of our guys, really proud of our defense for holding them out of the end zone, just field goals, and then us being able to get that one touchdown drive to eventually take the lead and then try to run the clock out at the end of the game.
I know that you landed a little awkwardly there at the end of the game. I see you kind of working your shoulder. How are you feeling? What happened there?
I'll be fine.
You'll be fine?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
All right. Well, luckily you have a bye, and then you can get ready for Alabama.
Thank God we have a bye week. That's all I got to say. No,
Thank God we have a
Kentucky's
bye week.
Physical game, and we knew that we were going to come into this, and it was going to be physical. So, utmost respect for them, and we knew that this game was going to be like this first road game. It's always going to be a hard test. You go back, and when we talked about it earlier in the week, that you go look at our first road games the past 2 years, it's kind of been like this. So we came in here expecting to be blow by blow and just try to get out of here with the win. So I'm really proud of the guys.
Oh, congrats on the win.
Absolutely.
I gotta say, I totally agree. I 100% agree with that, dude. First road games are always really, really difficult.
Well, historically,
they're always really
Georgia,
difficult.
particularly, that is the case. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I needed to. I gotta have something to smile about. I'm pretty sure that went over everyone's head for a second there.
I'm shocked though that we haven't had the Tim Donaghy scandal in the NBA about gambling and fixing games for point spreads. There were a lot of rumors about Donaghy getting some sort of payout from the NBA, but it couldn't be an official settlement because that would have been public record. But the guy was making $180,000 a year, and he's worth over $3 million. So I think it happens in college football a lot with these referees. I'm not saying trying to make a team win a game over another team necessarily, but it's point spreads, right? So it's like if I make this call and they end up winning by 3 or 6, but you guys know as football fans, that's a slippery slope. Like Jim just showed, a couple of plays here and there thinking that is a ref, hey, if I just do this and I make the point spread and I win 10 grand, it's not going to hurt Georgia, or it's not going to hurt Alabama or whoever. But then those things end up spiraling and it impacts the game. And they don't want coaches talking about it, because if you talk to like Kirby Smart or Heupel or any, Beamer, anybody on a golf course, they're going to look at you and be like, "Of course they're gambling. We know who's doing it. We know." Like, but
and why would you call it? Why would you call, if you didn't call it in the first quarter? Why are you calling it with 2 minutes left on the clock?
Exactly.
Right.
Mike,
Yep.
you know what? Penalties should go down throughout the game, unless it is egregious, unless the guy almost killed him trying to tackle him. There's no reason to call specific penalties inside of those 2 minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm shocked it hadn't happened yet with like it's scandal breaking with like, hey, these refs.
It's because the conferences control everything.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about Greg Sankey is able to get up there and say or able to go into the room where the evil people sit to decide who are going to the playoffs. I'm talking about the fact that the conference pays the refs, the conference transports them, the conference puts penalties on teams if they complain about it. LSU is probably going to get a fine for saying we're going to go complain about that call. They're probably going to get a fine for it. And so teams don't want to deal with that. And so they just let it happen. Because at the end of the day, Alabama knows that the refs are going to call things for them. Georgia knows that for the most part, the refs are going to call things for them. South Carolina understands that we're not going to get a break. Refs are not going to call shit for us.
Yep.
And we're numb to it now. Everyone's numb to it. We make NFL fans make jokes about how Tom Brady got every single call in the world, and there are conspiracies all over the place about CBS moving. What's up, X-Wing? CBS moving the clocks back and forth to give Tom Brady an extra 5 seconds on there. Play calls, all that shit. But we don't complain about it because the people that complain about it are crazy. And then the next game's on. So there's something else for us to deal with.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever hear the story about Tarkanian at UNLV? Back in the day, he used to get the referees. They'd
fuck UNLV.
UNLV basketball.
I'm a UNR guy, man. Fuck the Rebels.
So he used to bring the referees that come into Vegas to referee the basketball games, and he'd put them up into like the King Suite at the hotel, bring them strippers and hookers, and give them gambling money, and like they'd set them up to like completely party and all that. And the next day they'd be refereeing the game, and Dark would get all the calls.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I like the Rebels.
See you next time, Tark.
Yeah.
That sounds like something Rick Riley would do.
Sounds like something Miami did do.
Miami.
No doubt.
So, as you could tell, X-Wing, I brought you in. We've kind of devolved into
complaining,
referee scandal, bad calls, things that
we don't know anything about that in the NFL. We ain't never seen anything like that in the NFL.
I kind of wanted you to throw out what your perspective, because you're more of an NFL guy than college football. And Caleb pulled up a video earlier with a man on the sideline asking the ref how much you got, what you got on this parlay, man, what you got on this parlay, and the dude's laughing. But and I just went through a whole, I went back in time, something I'm still bitter about, and a lot of Georgia fans still are. Bad calls that led to us losing the national championship back in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
But, bad calls, referees, potentially even being corrupt. I mean, is that crazy?
No. No, I don't think it's crazy at all. And I wonder sometimes if it bleeds all the way to the coaching staff. I remember Pete Carroll at Super Bowl throws a shitty pass instead of letting Marshawn Lynch absolutely level someone into the end zone to win a. So it's tough to say. I don't know. This is what I'll tell you. I have seen enough bad calls in the NFL to make me ask questions. And if I'm asking questions, then there's a problem.
They're doing something wrong.
That's the bottom line. That's the
Remember the replacement refs? Remember that season?
Oh my God!
When was that?
So
6 years ago, 7 years ago.
So even then, it shouldn't take a seasoned ref to be able to make a good call. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you see a cleat stepping in white paint, you don't have to have been in the NFL for 7 seasons to know whether or not that receiver's eligible, or if he came out and he came back in, whatever the case is. You just don't have to know shit like that. So for me personally, I am under the impression at this point, just because I've seen some of these players and like how well they play and what they're capable of, falter heavily in clutch situations, and or one of these highly talented players make an amazing play and then a bullshit call follows it immediately after.
Or
the NFL is like the NFL is essentially the WWE right now.
Yeah,
it feels that way sometimes.
Yeah,
and you know what really cemented it for me was the fucking Taylor Swift stuff with the Chiefs.
I'm about to talk about that.
Yeah, and that little document that came out.
What was the record? Like, do you remember how the Chiefs looked before she started dating him?
Yeah,
they didn't look like a Super Bowl team. And
look, I mean, Kelsey's always been a good player. Kelsey was a good player before he went to Kansas City.
The Chiefs were not playing good before she started dating him.
Patrick Mahomes was essentially the reboot of Russell Wilson. It was a Russell Wilson reboot. They got Pat Mahomes in there. And Pat Mahomes can throw a football. Like, let's not get it twisted. That guy can throw a football for sure. But okay, so any Kansas City Chiefs fans, if you're in here, I'm not sorry for this. That appears to be the groomed team for the face of the NFL right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to feel like there's a difference between, and I hate the Patriots. I don't hate them anymore because now they suck. But I hated the Patriots when I was coming up in football because Bill Belichick and what he was able to put together with them. People hated him because they were really freaking good. I hate the Kansas City Chiefs because they look like they're good, and they're assigning a whole shitload of social media buzz around them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what doesn't sit right with me.
There was no way. I don't care what anybody says. There was no way they were not going to put the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
Right. Okay.
With Taylor Swift
there's no way San Francisco didn't beat the shit out of them in the Super Bowl.
Sundowners, real quick. Okay.
I watched them play.
Let me push back on that just for a second. Okay. On the Chiefs were not. I'm not a Chiefs fan. I am a Panthers fan. So I watch football on Saturdays.
I gotta get my DoorDash. I'll be right back.
2019. Right. Sorry, let's go to 2018. Lost the AFC Championship to the Patriots. Patrick Mahomes, MVP, Offensive Player of the Year. 2019, win the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes, Super Bowl MVP. Right. 2020, lose the Super Bowl to the Bucks. Great game, by the way. 2020 was 2021 was far and away the best postseason ever. 2021, lost AFC Championship to the Bengals. 2022, beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl. So to say that the Chiefs were not a Super Bowl caliber team
that year, past year.
Oh, that year. Okay.
Because those years you just named, they had Tyreek Hill.
Yes, they did. Yeah, and like 4 other people on their own line that Andy never tried to.
The fastest guy in the NFL, Tyreek Hill, by the way.
Now he's the second fastest guy. Now they have the fastest guy again, Xavier Worthy. He's fucking.
I said it when they started showing her on the TV. And this goes back to the refereeing, and like, I'm sorry, but as soon as they started showing that, I'm like, the Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl now. Whether they make calls to help them win it,
the problem. this is
They
what's
want
so
them
annoying about
ratings.
it.
They want the
People-
ratings.
You'll hear Swifties or the weird Chiefs fans go, she's on screen for like 45 seconds an entire game. What do you want? It's like, yes, she is, but it's 4 seconds every 10 minutes.
Right.
I don't need to see her talking to Travis Kelce's father.
Yeah.
No one gives a fucking shit that
The
she's
fan
there.
editing is so fucking funny though,
Oh
because
my
they
God.
exaggerate it even more. Because it's like, the ball is snapped, it cuts to Taylor Swift. The ball is thrown, it cuts to Taylor Swift. Like it's so fucking funny.
Yeah, she's wearing the jacket that was made for her, and she's over there cheering, and it's cutting back to like them hiking the ball.
It's worse than showing the quarterback's parents in the stands. At least they're related, more relevant.
Or the quarterback's girlfriend.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Patrick Mahomes.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's just so hot.
Yeah, Nessmeyer.
I mean, I know that's a big example of Taylor Swift in the NFL, but like in college, we don't really have that. Because I think if you look at ratings for TV, college football, it could be
implement a psyop at some point.
Yeah, it could be Toledo versus, Fresno State, and it's going to get ratings. People watch football games on TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
And college football, regardless of who it is. So I don't know that it's impacted that part of it, but because all the big conferences have these TV packages and these deals, but I do think that it goes back to what y'all just played with that clip. Well, you got the parlay, like these refs are gambling on the point spread. Not saying,
if you can.
Not saying they want a team to win over another team, but they are gambling on the point spread. And to what you were saying, Caleb, to not let the coaches talk about after a game, hey, this referee made some horrible calls. You should be able to say that and not get fined.
Absolutely.
How much you got on that parlay? How much you got on that? How much you got on that parlay? Hey, I know you got something on it.
The other thing is, it's not that funny. Like,
no,
that wasn't. It wasn't some big joke. It wasn't like you don't laugh at that kind of shit. Unless
I see why
you
the
know.
dude's laughing. I see why the guy is laughing.
Now, I would like to know what play this was.
And what game is this?
This is our game. This is the LSU Carolina game.
No,
it's dark.
That's Auburn.
It's nighttime.
Yeah. Look at the sidelines.
That's Auburn.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Tigers. Yep. It's Auburn.
I just ate 3 carne asada tacos in about 1 minute and 15 seconds. I look like a Marvel supervillain.
Hey, when X-Wing moves to Florida, here's what we need to do. When X-Wing moves to Florida, we need to do an introduction to the South for SEC football and take X-Wing because we're all living in different states with SEC teams. We need to get X-Wing to every single SEC stadium for a football game and let him get introduced.
I need to do that tour.
I've done every one but South Carolina. I haven't done South Carolina.
Honestly, bro, did you see the atmosphere in Williams-Brice today? Holy shit.
Josh Payton has been saying it for like 7 years.
No, don't sleep on that.
One of the best atmospheres in all of college football.
Kirby says it every time we go there, too.
Every head coach says it. There are a handful of games in the 20 years I've been going to Willie B. There are a handful of games where that crowd was not the 12th man. And one of them was the South Carolina Citadel game.
Make it a golf weekend, football and golf weekend. Hit the links, Hilton Head, and then do South Carolina football game.
You got to drive 2 hours.
You hooked X-Wing with golf for sure. Yeah.
As he scarfs down his 5th taco.
That's all right.
No, it's a burrito now, dog.
Okay. No, I'm Caleb. That's dog.
Cheesy Gordita Crunch is where it's at.
So what would be the place?
Yeah,
X-Wing being a West Coast guy, and we're all Southerners. What would be the place? I know my answer. That X-Wing would say after he hit every stadium, every place in the SEC, he would say that is the craziest fucking place I've ever been to.
Well, it depends on the game.
Absolutely depends on the game.
Because I think LSU on a good year on a certain game would probably be the craziest.
LSU, Alabama.
That's where that hot gymnast chick goes too, right?
Yeah.
One of the best
Libby
games
Dunn.
you can ever
Libby
go to.
Dunn. Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I was going to say LSU, Death Valley. they quit letting them have the games at night because of what was
Because
happening.
they got drunk.
That's
Because
crazy.
they got too drunk.
And then they
They
filmed,
actually registered on the fucking earthquake registry.
A Richter scale.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Richter scale,
They also fill up bags full of piss and throw it at visiting fans and visiting teams.
And these are the
Well, that's
Cajuns. Cajun culture. First of all day you're going to
They're
eat
crazy.
the best food you've ever eaten. Cajun
Sure.
food.
Yeah. Boils
yeah.
all day.
It's going to be
Mhm.
drinking more than you've ever seen.
What?
And then there's going to be violence. And it's like, listen, I've been down there like 8-9 times at least. I've seen people get hurt, like literally get dragged out of their seat and like the shit beat out. Like they don't play.
That doesn't
Death
sound
Valley.
that fun.
And,
You get the boudin kicked out of you.
yeah, they're
Boudin.
voodoo,
I fucking love
Cajun,
Boudin.
crazy.
Love Boudin. Jesus. That shit's good.
Ohio's having trouble with that right now.
No.
Shit.
Not according to Kamala, but anyway.
I love how they have the debate and all that.
You're fake news.
Cats and dogs.
Speaking of that,
I was going to put him.
You know, even if it's true.
One guy tried to make like a funny music video about it. They're like, this idiot said they're eating the cats and dogs. And then it went viral on conservative media. And the dude tweeted out, he's like, I made a video and it was a terrible day.
Jesus. God, I gotta pee again. I'll be right back.
dude, you might need to go see a doctor.
Dog broke the seal.
Yeah. I had sushi tonight.
I'm trying to find it. There was a
That sounds so good, bro.
there was a sign
Mexican food's bomb.
that someone made for a game day today. Let's see, and I did not screenshot it. Fuck.
I was 20 minutes into the Rings of Power episode when Dawg sent me the text. He's like, hey, can you come on? I got to ask you a quick question. I'm like, yeah, I got a minute.
I haven't been in my studio.
Has he
I haven't
asked
been in my
you the
studio
question?
for 4 weeks. This is the
Really?
first time I've been in front of a microphone in 4 weeks.
Damn, that sounds nice.
It has been nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been good.
And no, it ain't Taco Bell. This is one thing I'll miss a lot from where I'm at in the West Coast is like Starbucks is to San Francisco. Mexican food, real good Mexican food restaurants are a dime a dozen all over where I'm at. I mean, real good Mexican food. So I'm
They
gonna
do
miss
good
that.
in my area too.
Yeah.
I feel like all over the South, it's kind of buckshot of just.
But
good
they're
Mexican
all
restaurants.
they're all like single room things.
Shopping
They're not,
centers. Yeah.
They're joints. Yeah, but Dog, you're right. The Hispanic population in the South's grown to where you're getting a lot of the good.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, it's grown.
Well represented.
Whoa.
I
Is
hate
that
New
new?
Oh my
feature.
God,
It's
I
a new
hate that.
feature. I'm just checking it out. I don't like
I
it.
didn't even know they did that.
Yeah, they had dark mode now.
They have dark mode.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. August 29th, they dropped dark mode.
Bro, it's so nice. Who the fuck? Ahsoka fly now.
Yeah, it's fucking Wade. It's Wade's 12th account.
Well,
Yeah, he's got a couple.
yeah. Wow.
Wait, that's
Yeah.
weird, bro.
Man, what a good day. What a good stream. I appreciate y'all being here. I don't know if I'm going to close it out. I'm just saying that, but I just got back from pissing. What were we saying?
It's right about the half a gallon whiskey point. You're like, man, I love you guys.
It's not that far. It's not that
Well,
far.
okay, so we got a couple things to go through. One, Jim, what is the whiskey of the week?
Oh, I did that in the very beginning
Okay.
because it was such a
You needed
nail
it.
biter
That was
game.
the first thing he did.
It is. It's
Yeah,
Long
yeah.
Branch, Wild Turkey's Long Branch,
So,
small
and
batch.
here's the other question. Did Game Day get it right?
Okay, I love it.
I think they did.
Of course you do. They were at
of
your
course I
campus.
did.
Sure.
But, bruh, first off, half of the crowd was there at 4:30 this morning. Like
Yeah.
8 hours before kickoff.
Was a noon kick.
We
too, so
fucking
kinda had
brought
to
it.
be. Oh yeah.
Like, holy, I was totally impressed.
How about your guy with the kicking challenge though?
Yo, yeah, I heard about that. I
Oh,
haven't
God.
watched it yet.
Fucking shoe.
I've never seen
Oh,
anybody
man.
kick a ball 90 degrees. That thing went 90 degrees.
Pull it
By the
up.
way,
Pull it
Caleb,
up.
I had
Pull
just
it
a
up.
question. Have you evaluated your own situation at any point during this entire stream? Because I marked it off at 5 minutes, and it's been almost an hour now. Actually, it's
Do
been
what now?
over an hour.
What are you talking about?
Caleb,
What do you mean?
I don't know what you're referring to.
how's your name spelled, Caleb?
Oh,
Caleb.
Is that how it's spelled on screen?
Caleb. Yes.
What's your last name?
I'm not gonna say my last name on here.
I'd rather not.
I see Cox right there. I see.
I thought it.
Caleb
No.
Cox.
See, you see
Actually,
how
that's
Sundowners.
everyone's team.
Yeah. You see how Sundowners says Notre Dame, and Matchewin says 10 volts.
Notre Dame.
Yeah,
Wait,
I
is
said-
there
I
a
said
college
Notre
team
Dame.
named Cox?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Gamecocks.
The Gamecock.
Yeah, Caleb has liked Cox since he was like little bitty.
Yep.
Their fight
Well,
their
you
fight
fucking
rally is
weirdo.
Go Cox.
Yeah.
Gabe Cox.
Oh God.
Holy shit.
Could be worse. It could be an LSU fan where your fight song is about a blowjob.
You're not
Oh.
wrong.
Shit.
Nick.
All right. Look, here's the deal. I have to go watch this Rings of Power episode. 'cause I have a
Oh,
stream
God
in-
bless you.
I have a stream in less than 12 hours with my brother on it.
Mm.
I was about a quarter of the way through, and then I saw your stuff. You're like, hey, can you come on? I got to ask you a question.
Are you gonna ask him the question?
Your brother
did.
cannot like Rings of Power, can't does he?
Bitch.
He won't watch it.
Yeah.
That's kind of the whole fun of the stream that we do, is that he doesn't watch it, and then I tell him what happens, and he just kind of cackles into eternity.
Excellent.
Hey, X-Wing, you got to spend time talking to him about the Duran and the whole idea of sunlight. You got to spend time on that.
Wow,
Yeah.
that whole crowd screams cock.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Half
Sundowner,
of
what'd
the
you say, Sean?
stadium screams cock.
The
You
East
got to
Side
spend some
Street-
time talking to your brother about the whole thing with Duran and sunlight with the doors.
Oh, I mean, that already came up earlier when they couldn't sing
So
to the mountain
stupid.
and they ruined the mirrors and everything. And this is the best part. Dwarves don't know
Forgot
how to
one.
fucking drill out of the mountain. They're like, where do we find sunlight? I don't know. Well, good
What a
thing we got
novel.
a fucking ring of power to find outside. You
What a
fucking
novel
idiot.
concept. Yeah.
Yeah, I already saw that part.
Jeez.
All right. Anyways,
Yeah.
I won't take up any more of your time. Thanks for having me
All right.
on, brother.
Hey, I appreciate you being here. Good
Yeah.
perspective with the
Ask him the
referee
question.
stuff. Do what?
You actually ask him the question that you asked him to come on to ask.
Yeah.
It was the
Okay,
first
well,
question
it
you
was
asked
the
me.
ref thing. It was the
Yeah, it was
referee
about the ref stuff in the NFL parallel. But yeah,
Yeah.
thing.
yeah.
I just wanted
Hey,
to
I-
make sure.
I appreciate the support and I appreciate you being here. And
Oh, yeah,
we'll
brother.
catch your stream tomorrow morning.
It's the only stream I ever go on without a hat.
I was gonna say. It's,
So you got it. You got this loaded in.
There it is.
All right, brothers.
Yeah.
Take care. Have fun. Enjoy the rest of the stream, and I will see you later.
Hell yeah, buddy.
Later.
We'll see you.
Why say?
See ya.
Hell yeah.
Um,
Shit. What?
So
I
question,
forgot.
was
what
it
we
the
were
right
supposed to
choice
pull up?
for game day?
What were we going to pull up?
I don't think we were gonna pull anything up. I was asking, did Game Day get it right?
Oh,
Obviously,
we're gonna
I
pull
think
the
they did.
kick, the messed up kick.
Oh, that's right. SC versus LSU.
I bet I'll get it quicker.
Kick.
I know right where it's at. Videos and oh no, it's not here. Fuck. Okay, I'm going to Twitter.
In hindsight, while you're doing that, in hindsight, I think they did get it right. I would say that Alabama, Wisconsin would have given it a run for its money, but it was a blowout. So
Yeah,
I think based on the atmosphere and the close game, they got it right.
I don't. Okay, so along that line, I would say it wouldn't. It
Boom!
wouldn't have
Beat you,
been-
bitch.
Yeah, thank you. It wouldn't have been wrong if they did do Alabama, Wisconsin.
Mhm.
Is what I will say. I don't think that would have been wrong, but Are they still correct with going to?
Well, and I think we know for a fact that they were going
South Carolina?
to Georgia, Kentucky until Kentucky lost.
Kentucky, South Carolina shocking Kentucky. I think got that was the trend. That was the new hot trend going on. Like, all right, this could be a better game.
And it was a pretty good game. Oh yeah, let's watch this because I did see Pat look it up at a picture. So
Worst kick of all
I
time.
love this.
That was
And
the
he
worst
lost his
kick
shoe.
of anything I think that has ever happened in history. Started to get hot and stuff.
The fucking omen, wasn't it? It was a fucking omen.
About to perform another song. Life is good. Kick was so bad.
So bad.
So bad.
Damn.
Thank you, TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a cool little new tradition too. I do like that. I like that.
The kick, yeah, man. I've had like 3 different people tell me this week that they hate Pat on it, and I just don't get it. I fucking love Pat McAfee there.
So Tyler's in that boat.
Yeah.
I know quite a few people in that boat. Some of my other favorite YouTubers, like Georgia YouTubers, they can't stand him.
Dude, but
And
see, here's the
I
thing.
understand the dislike of like the bro college football guy because that's who Pat is. But to me, I find him funny. I find him kind of like a good old boy.
If Pat wasn't there, we don't get this.
Oh God!
So we know game day's going.
Oh yeah.
Across the front. It's an acronym that stands for "Let a Naysayer Know."
No, it doesn't.
Often wears his own branded apparel, reading "Lank" across the front. It's an acronym that stands for "Let a Naysayer Know." Being told by his former offensive coordinator,
That
Bill
is
O'Brien.
not what I thought.
Is that not what you thought?
Boy, let a naysayer know.
Let a naysayer know.
Of course.
The professional's right in the middle of his lead. That's all right. I just keep
thought
going.
you almost lost me again. Real tight up here, as you were. I just want to know.
They're all sitting there. Every single fucker was sitting there going,
That's
"Oh
such
my god,
a true
are we doing
and
this?"
real fucking moment. Like, I don't care for the stage bullshit. That's real.
Yeah,
I appreciate
that's why he's
that.
popular. That's why he's
Absolutely.
popular.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the when the stealth bomber was flying over, and I think they were live on that too. And they were sitting there talking, and they all just went, "Oh, cool." Absolutely.
Oh yeah, the stealth bomber. Oh hell
giant
yeah.
ass B-2 bomber flies overhead.
Well,
Everyone
that's
stops
just
and
being
look.
a man. That's
Yeah,
just being a real
absolutely.
man. Yeah. Of course.
He was still drunk in Ireland when they did the Florida State Georgia Tech game. He
Yeah.
was still drunk.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
So
for sure.
We know game day is going to be at the Alabama Georgia game in 2 weeks. But
Yep.
where's game day going to be next week?
Oklahoma, Tennessee.
Oh,
I think so.
They've already announced it.
Oh, they've already
Oh, they
done
did?
that. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
shared it with y'all on Facebook Messenger. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that'll be a good game too for a bye week.
Where is it?
Yeah, and Heupel's coming to his alma mater.
Yeah.
And for
Oklahoma.
everyone who's stuck with us for this over an hour and a half here, I am going to do a show on the bye weeks this year. I didn't last year, but I will do one. I know Caleb, you're on a bye too.
No, well, sort of. It's Akron.
Yeah, like I said, you're on a bye too.
Yeah,
But
2 weeks, 2 bye weeks in a row.
But no, I think there's still plenty of college football to talk about. We'll digest a little more of this Kentucky win, and looking forward to it. It'll be nice to be able to get a pre-game to the Alabama game too. So that'll be nice. But for Matt being here and being a prominent member of the 11 Deep podcast group, going over your game being the game of the week, I would say the game of the week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you have Utah and Oklahoma State or someone like that, and then Michigan plays, I think USC maybe, or Southern Cal.
Michigan ain't what they were, so
that game's not as important, but it's still ranked teams. But Oklahoma,
Right.
Tennessee, big implications. We're going to see how much of a threat Tennessee is for the national title this year.
Yep, for
Next week.
sure. For sure, man. Yeah, Matt, we look forward to that for sure. What do you say?
Yeah, I think so. I know Oklahoma struggled a little bit with Tulane. Was it Tulane today they played?
Tulane's not bad.
They kind of let them sneak up on them.
Yeah, they're a good
They got
team.
a few little. They're good. They're good. They're well coached. They've got a little bit of an injury bug. I think it's got them.
19-34, Oklahoma wins. Looked like Oklahoma was fairly consistent both halves as far as scoring goes.
Yeah, Norman's a tough place to play, regardless.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting because I do think Oklahoma's not as good as what people pump them up to be, but they can get you. They can get you. It's kind of like South Carolina. Like, don't underestimate that shit. They'll fucking get you if you're sleeping.
So there's only 2 other games that there's a lot of ifs that would have had to happen for I think them to have gotten a shot. But NC State at Clemson, I think, because I love when NC State beats Clemson. Love it. And
Might
then
happen.
it happens a lot. NC State takes them down to the wire almost every year for like the last decade.
Yeah.
And then Southern Cal and Michigan, like you were saying earlier, it's a pretty big game.
And I don't think Utah plays Oklahoma State.
Michigan
That's a good
looks
game.
a lot like Florida State, right? A lot of preseason hype, a lot of expectations, a lot of the brand name showing through.
Yeah,
but they're not what they were. They're just 100%. Not. They're a shell of what they were.
They just lucked out to have Michigan. They just happen to have an actual number on the left side of their record, rather than just big old flat zero.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, one thing we haven't talked about Clemson at all. How long before Dabo leaves Clemson? And does he go pro or does he go SEC?
So
he would have to go pro. I think he's done in college.
I think he has to go pro. I think
I agree.
No one is touching him if he refuses to do NIL.
Yeah, he does.
But is he a good fit for pro because he dismisses NIL? Because
here's the thing:
free agency.
The only reason why I think he'd be better there is because it's already the system.
Right.
It's not like last year they suddenly started paying their players.
Yeah.
So no SEC team is hiring that fool until he learns how to deal with the transfer portal or pay players. No other team is hiring that fool until he learns how to not make it about himself. And no other team is in as big a shit show to need a prima donna as their head coach.
Yeah.
Even Florida.
Yeah. Ooh, what about that twist? What if Florida tried to hire him?
Could happen.
Florida is not hiring a head coach who will not do the transfer portal.
Yeah, that would have to be
What if he agrees to do it? So I guess the question in this scenario is Clemson looking to fire him?
No, he'll
no. He
right. So he wouldn't have to bend the knee for that. But
he has the same aura about him at Clemson as Bobby Bowden did at Florida State. He will have to quit. They have sucked his dick raw. He will have to quit before he gets fired from Clemson.
And he
what?
If someone like Florida were going to, you would have to have that agreed upon before he took the job. Look, you're fully committed to NIL, or we're not moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Well, and he'd also have to be able to prove it. Like, you could say whatever the fuck you want in pre-contract negotiations, but until you prove it, it means nothing.
Yeah, but let's think about this for just a second. They have Billy Napier. Florida wants to kill him right now. Like, he's getting tired. Like, maybe tomorrow. Like
next week.
And you're telling me they wouldn't have Dabo high on their list? Of course they would.
Look, let's put it on the record right now. Star Wars Dog calls next week after they lose to Mississippi State. Billy Napier will be fired by Tuesday of next week. Well, the following week. You know what I'm saying.
If they
When's their bye week? When's their bye week?
I'm not
Let's
sure.
look that up.
This week.
Firing a coach before a bye week is usually a pretty good idea.
After Mississippi State. Their bye week is the week after Mississippi
Wow, how perfect! So they
good call. Good call, Jim.
Time to find, no,
they are.
My
the meeting,
preseason prediction of week 4, Billy Napier will be gone, stands.
Yeah. So I guarantee you, the meeting tomorrow is just to find out if they've got who they have to call to get the money. That's it.
Florida's got one of the biggest booster groups in the world. They've got billions of dollars.
Who they go with?
Well, some people are throwing Kiffin. They're saying Kiffin.
Yeah.
A lot of people think Kiffin.
I don't think Kiffin
has too
will
much
leave.
work to do there.
I don't think Kiffin will leave.
He's not leaving. He's not leaving Ole Miss, where he has preseason rankings every single game, every single
top
season.
10.
Where he's not leaving that to where he'd have to go rebuild.
No,
he is in a spot where he could be top 12 playoff team at Ole Miss with less pressure, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
He's holding for a bigger fish.
All he's got to do is
he wants Alabama. I think Kiffin wants Alabama.
Yeah. Now, I'll tell you what they might do. What Florida might do. Florida might do what we're doing with our baseball team. And they might go grab someone who has been a really big coach that they can use for 2 or 3 years, and then get a guy that is coming up. So, I'm predicting week 10, they announce Urban Meyer's return to Florida.
No.
Oh my gosh, no way.
Bro.
Hey, if Urban comes back, that's not where he's going.
Where do you think he's going?
He's gonna go to Notre Dame.
If he comes out of retirement, he's going to Notre Dame.
You don't think your guy's getting it done, Marcus Freeman?
Fuck no, he's an idiot.
Really?
Yeah, we don't. It's our fault. You don't hire a guy who's never been a head coach to be.
I
coach.
think they're having problems with.
Sometimes you do.
Huh?
Did you hear
You're
that?
in Tennessee, dude.
Yeah.
You heard her. So, all transparency, I married a Florida Gator, and she's in the other room and she's listening, and she just heard, because there's a little delay of what she's hearing. She just heard Urban Meyer coming back.
And he's got it set to where I'm not the loudest thing in their house anymore.
Yeah. But no, I think in all reality, Florida cannot, I would say afford, but it's not like it really matters. But at this point, I don't see them in a logical state taking a risk on another like up and coming.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
they need to
They need a
hire
blue chip.
a proven worthy coach. They need to
But
get like
they
that
have to
number
hire
one hire,
one.
and they have the alumni, they have the boosters, they can
Oh, yeah.
get it done, right?
They have to hire
recruiting,
someone.
they have
Who is proven in this new system of football. And that's why I don't think it's Dabo, because he's not proven in the system. Look at his last 2 or 3 years.
I completely agree with you. I don't think he's the answer. I just posed the question just for shits and giggles.
Well, another route they could go is look what was it Nebraska did. I mean, you could go to the pros and find a coach to pull down.
Sure.
Not necessarily a head coach, but a good coordinator type guy.
Pete
They
Carroll's
were to take
available.
Miami's coach or something like that.
I was thinking,
Yeah.
would they cross the aisle and try to get Miami's coach?
That guy. Speaking of that, Jim, when you get a chance, look at the message I sent you on Facebook.
The other
Of,
possibility.
Do you want me to
I
pull it
put
up?
it, yeah, when you get a chance, just
All right, I can do that.
You mean like pull it up on StreamYard?
Yeah. I got it.
yeah. Somebody took their head coach and put AI to this press conference, and it is hilarious.
Real quick, the other opportunity, and I hate to say this, I just want him gone from there. What if someone tries to grab Eli Dershowitz from?
Drink a fifth.
Nobody
Eli,
wants
drink a fifth.
Nobody wants Drinkowitz. Nobody wants.
God,
No, I
get
don't
him
want him either. But you can't deny that on paper he's got the
No,
absolutely. That would be somebody I would call.
And you got to see what he does the rest of the year. This is a big year for him.
Yeah. But that schedule is kind of pillowy. It's
I just
they're like Vandy.
She doesn't know what she's talking about. I gotta wait for it.
The single ladies down there do though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, here's on.
Yeah, listen to this.
Just signed Tua to a $200 million contract. The guy throws 3 interceptions tonight, including a pick 6. And I bet you guys expected me to come out here and talk about how bad of a deal that is for the Miami Dolphins. You probably thought I'd say he's the Hawaiian Daniel Jones, and that we would have been better off lighting the $200 million on fire. But I'm not going to say any of that stuff because Tua just got his 3rd concussion tonight. And I feel kind of bad. You know, I knew when DeMar hit him that one of those guys wasn't getting up. Now, for the rest of the season, the Miami Dolphins are stuck with one of the worst backup quarterbacks in the league. And there's not a damn thing I can do about it. Man, we just signed Tua to a 200.
So that whole Instagram account has taken AI voices and done like he did Shannon Sharp talking to Skip Bayless or somebody. It was hilarious.
Mm-hmm. So can I just say, we're laughing that's parody and all that, but in all seriousness, the Tua concussion again. Damn.
And he did this to himself. This one.
As much as that dude put heartache on me, and we showed earlier in this episode, we showed a compilation of bad calls and everything, and Tua was at the helm with that one. Man, him getting his 3rd concussion in ugly fashion early in the season again. Honestly, my heart breaks for him. Like, dude, that's fucking rough, man. At this point, to me, you have to fucking retire. Like, bro, you are damaged goods. You're no stronger than a carton of eggs at this point. Like, dude, for your own sanity and for your potential spouse's safety, you have to retire.
Yeah,
I thought he was done after that second one.
With his body locked up, it just man, it's
the same way. I've seen so many of those videos. It's the same shit with the he's seeing fucking Charlie's Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. He's in another dimension.
He's going to be like Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, he's
these days.
I think you're right, man. He's got to retire.
He's got to step down. It's not for him. He's got a glass jaw at this.
He's
going to
get millions.
It's a guaranteed contract, isn't it?
No. He's not going to get all that. No. They'll do an insurance thing.
They'll help him. Yeah. They'll help him.
Yeah, he'll get millions from his insurance, and then he'll go do TV. But he's got to quit. These aren't just concussions where it's like
no,
they're not concussions where he's getting up.
No,
have y'all had concussions before?
You're fucked.
Yeah, I've had one.
Yeah.
I've had 2 in that I know of, and you get up and like I'm moving around, but like you're a little cloudy. This dude is like looks like he's frozen. Like these are not. Yeah, they're not. It's not good,
he's
man.
Catching pixies.
His motor function is shutting down. You know, we've seen how he locks up.
It's not shock either. It's not just like, whoa, it's something fucked up.
Internal wiring.
He's been transported to a different dimension.
Yeah.
He's slobber knocker.
3 fucking times now. Like,
but hey, the way he is though, it could be an easy replacement for Lee Corso because like you take one guy who can't move.
No.
When Lee
come on, that's a low fucking blow.
When Lee Corso says not so fast, my friend, he's talking about himself.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. Put that on fucking 0.25 speed on that one.
Yeah.
No, that's too low. That's too low.
It is elder abuse, as somebody said.
Yeah, it's like letting a senile man run the country for 4 years.
So college
everybody knows that it's a problem.
No one would ever do that.
We all love College Game Day, right? We all love College Game Day. It's a part.
No.
I like Pat. I don't listen. I don't sit there. I watch my game.
I will say on the record, I prefer SEC Nation much more over College Game Day. I think they put on a better production. They have better people, and they go to better.
They all played in the last decade and a half.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was better 5, 10, 15 years ago. It was a rite of passage. You got up Saturday morning and you turned on College Game Day.
It's not the same product now. Yeah.
But do you guys feel like this is the way I feel? Like, and I love Lee Corso. He's part of the history of college football, on TV.
Of course.
But like, do you feel like that they're kind of like keeping him on there? It feels kind of like I don't even want to watch it. Like
it's wrong.
It's like it's almost like they're afraid to move on.
Yeah, but it's like, golly, you're putting him on there, and it's sad. It makes you feel like, man, I don't even want to watch this because he struggles.
Bro, and not to get political, but it's just like Biden in the presidency. It's elder abuse at this point. Like, bro, let the fucking guy enjoy retirement and be around his family.
Right.
He obviously is not in the fucking mental state to be able to be in this position. And you putting him out here, and I know the thing is Lee probably doesn't understand that this is wrong. He thinks he's all there, right?
Yeah.
But we need to take responsibility of as the people that, care for him and love him and say, look, let's not do this. Like it's done. Let's relax. Let's spend time with our family and
they had the perfect
live out
opportunity.
the last couple of years that we have.
They had the perfect opportunity like 2 or 3 years ago to go ahead and kick him off and let him resign and everything. Because it was like his 20th anniversary or something.
I thought you were going to say they had the perfect opportunity to leave him in Ireland.
Wait, they do right now. They just pulled Nick Saban into game day.
Yeah,
of course.
So Lee Corso is retired. Should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Completely done. We now have Nick Saban to take the helm, and he might not do the fucking mascot head thing, right?
Yeah.
But we now have the legendary coach on game day, right? Lee Corso has been replaced. Why are we still literally wheeling him out there in a fucking stupor, demented state? What are we doing? Why are we doing that to people? It's wrong. It's immoral to me. I don't. If that was my grandfather, I would be fucking pissed.
Yeah, I don't know why Pat McAfee can't put on the mascot thing and do the choice. He's a personality.
Exactly what Pat should do.
Pat McAfee can't keep his shirt on, so.
Well, I mean, well, neither can Caleb at work. I mean, that's no, we don't judge him. I'm sorry, Caleb. I'm sorry.
What do you think, Antonio?
Clip that, Ronnie.
Oh my God! What fucking perfect timing.
Caleb, I'm sorry I had to. It was just easy setup. It was.
No, you didn't. No, you did not.
I love you, Caleb.
Oh my God! All right, boys. Well, let's end it on this fucking laughter note. Caleb, otherwise known as King's Advisors, go check him out. Caleb, you're the mod. Drop your link. Drop Sundowners while you're at it. Go check out Caleb at King's Advisors. He does fantastic content. He plays games. He's a great guy. Go check him out. Sundowners, he also does great content. A lot of Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, fantasy element kind of stuff. Go check him out. He does good stuff. Hopefully he'll get back into live stream function here. Definitely check him out. He's awesome. Matt Tween, you will catch him here. You'll catch him on John Graber.
Him there and everywhere.
Yeah, no channel yet. I'm just kind of float around. Maybe one of these days I'll get
You don't
going.
need one.
That's all good. Hey, if you do a Vols thing, we'll jump over there every now and again, whatever you want to do. But we thank Matt Tween. We thank Sean at Sundowners. We thank Caleb at King's Advisors. Everyone, I appreciate y'all tuning in and watching all the way to the end. If you're watching this back on replay, which probably most of you are, hit that like and the subscribe, and go ahead and do me a favor and do the same for our friends here on the channel. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all being here.
That whiskey's hitting hard.
And we'll see you next week on the bye week. But hey, we'll have shit to talk about, so stay tuned. All right.
See ya.
Peace out.